I've made a major mistake and I jinxed myself. I said a couple videos ago that this thing was perfect and problem-free, and well, things have seriously taken a turn for the worse right now. Last weekend we took my 6-cylinder swapped, big turbo, big kahunas STI out roll racing and drag racing, and on the first hit of the day, this one, I think I hit it a little bit too hard, and I think I lifted the head, pressurized the cooling system, and I'm pretty sure I popped the radiator, and now we have more issues than I would have liked. That's just how this car goes. I'll push it off a cliff. So whenever I let the car sit overnight now, we get a fun little pea puddle of coolant that comes out of the engine. Actually, you know, I don't know if that's the engine, the radiator, but there's coolant coming out of the car, and that's obviously not a good sign. Now, to give you guys some frame of reference here, this is a fully built EG33. It's a 3.3 liter 7675 turbo H6. And there's not a ton of aftermarket head gasket options for this setup. So right now we just have a set of MLS gaskets in here, which, to be completely honest, is just the wrong answer for what we're doing. We are running about 50 PSI through this engine, and those MLS head gaskets are probably screaming for their life. So we're gonna start today off simple. We're gonna just see if we are getting combustion gas into our cooling system. So I went out, I got one of these fun little fluid leak tester guys. That's gonna sit on the top of our expansion tank here. We're gonna put our test fluid in this, and if this blue test fluid right here turns green, that means we are getting combustion gases into the cooling system, which I believe that we are, mainly because we are pressurizing the cooling system on high boost. And what that means is we are sending cylinder pressure into the cooling system, and it's blowing coolant out of any orifice that it can. Now, it used to be the big radiator cap guy that I had right here. That eventually ended up moving to the heater core hoses back underneath of the catch can there. So let's get our tester on our expansion tank. Let's get this thing fired up, and let's see what color that fluid turns. Hopefully it stays blue, but I really don't think it's going to. I got a little faith in this. I don't want to start it in here. I got the dogs in the shop with me, and I really don't want to smoke them out with exhaust gas. It's probably going to spill some coolant, which is whatever. That guy's going to go there. This guy, I'm assuming, goes right there. And that just sucked coolant in. That's not what I wanted. It's lifting ahead. It's obviously lifting ahead. Cooling system is pressurizing, coolant's being squirted out. It's going out the path of least resistance, wherever it can find in the engine, coolant's exiting. Our coolant tester guy, or head gasket goodness, it looks like a lava lamp right now. You guys will see some like this green on the bottom, and that's just coolant. That's not actually the fluid testing stuff. The fluid testing stuff didn't change from blue. With the fluid not changing from blue to green, that means that we do not have a head gasket leak under vacuum. As soon as we get into boost and as soon as cylinder pressure rises, that's when we start spraying coolant. So I'm just like, dude, I'm so over the problems with this engine. If it's not one thing, it's something else. You want to make power on this engine, you got to do this, and I'm so sunk into it at this point. Do I keep throwing money into it? Do I pull it? Do I put a different engine in it? I won't get rid of the car, but I'm gonna be honest, at this point I'm kind of contemplating taking the EG out, selling all my EG stuff, and going with like a JZ or something. It's just annoying. I fix one problem, I get 4 more. I fix one problem, I get 2 more. I fix all the problems are gone. I get into high boost, it says nope, I'm out of here. Maybe I sell all my EG stuff and I put a Mesger in there. Those like to make power fairly easily. You know, it's just, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with it. My options are kind of limited here. So if we wanted to stick with the EG33 platform and actually make power, the only viable option in this moment is to send out another set of case halves I have and build an entire second engine that has closed deck inserts that can be machined for O-rings. I could slap MLS gaskets back in the engine, turn the car back down significantly below 30 psi, and then we'd just be rocking like 600 horsepower to 6-cylinder with a turbo that's way oversized for that engine at that point, which then what's gonna fail? Because then parts are discontinued. I can't get parts for it anywhere, so it's all I have in my stash. I wish that I could go back to prior Tanner, who was starting this engine swap, and be like, dude, there's no support for this engine. You're gonna be on your own for pretty much all of it, and yeah, you know, it's just, I want to push this car off a cliff in this moment. I have somehow captured a wasp inside of my testing fluid. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna let you out. You're gonna try to kill me if I let you out. Well, unfortunately, it is pretty indicative. We are pushing coolant. The entire overflow is just filled with coolant. It's leaking out the bottom. It's pushing coolant out of the engine. As much as I love this idea of keeping an EG33 in this car, I unfortunately am kind of also thinking it may be time to ditch it and go to something else. And unfortunately, I am not kidding. You reach a point where you're just like, how much more abuse can I take? So it's the next day. I've sat on it a little bit and I think I know what I'm gonna do. I have a spare engine back there. I've already talked to another machine shop that can knock an engine out for us. I am not going to put this on priority, so the car is gonna sit for a little bit. But if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to do it all the way that I wanna do it. And it's going to take longer. Just financially speaking, it's expensive to do what I'm about to do. So there's a company out of the UK called ZRP. ZRP makes a stroker kit for this engine to increase displacement from 3.3 liters up to 3.7 liters, which if I'm redoing all of this, I'm going to do. So it's a billet crankshaft. It'll increase displacement, comes with rods, comes with pistons. I'm gonna send another set of case halves I have out to a company, I wanna say they're ZF or something like that, the machine shop name. What we're gonna end up doing here is we are going to send these case halves out. They're going to be closed decked. They're going to be, that closed deck has provisions for fire locks. We're also going to sleeve the engine, so it's gonna be closed decked and sleeved. The mains are gonna be pinned, the case halves are gonna be studded, all of it. So the machine cost comes out to, I wanna say it's like right around $5,000. The stroker kit comes out to about $3,500. And at that point, I'll have a short block that'll withstand literally anything I'll throw at it. Literally anything at that point I can throw at this short block, it will take. The engine harness, I will probably redo, and I'm probably just going to make the swap from Haltech over to Motec. Like I said, if I'm going to be doing all of this stuff, I'm going to do it the way that I had originally envisioned it. It's just difficult financially because all of this is really expensive. So it will probably take me a little while to save up the funds. Now the bright side to all of this is the short block in that car right now is still totally fine. So I can sell that short block to recoup some funds. So next week, I'm going to pull the engine out of the STI here. I'm going to list that short block for sale, list my Haltech for sale, list my plug and play engine harness for sale, the turbo, anything that will not be used on this 3.7 liter I'm going to put in this car is going to go bye-bye. And we are going to do this in a way where I significantly overbuild the car to not give us any problems. Putting another MLS gasket set in this car is just going to be a band-aid. It's not going to fix the underlying issue that I have with the car, which is the fact that the head gaskets will not hold. Putting more MLS head gaskets in there will still have an issue with cylinder pressure at some point. So it's just putting a band-aid on the problem. To permanently fix this issue, we need a fire-locked engine. And if I am redoing an engine, I'm going to do it as the 3.7 liter that I originally wanted to do. It's just going to take me a little bit more time. So in the meantime, I am going to focus on doing some stuff to the truck. I'm gonna heavily focus on the RX-7, and I'm going to play with the Porsche for the time being, and the Subaru can sit here in the corner and think about what it did. It didn't do anything wrong. It was, honestly, at the end of the day, it's my fault for trying to gamble with MLS gaskets. It's just, it wasn't the right move. It was me trying to save a little bit of money, and it obviously has come back to bite me in the butthole. Maybe I'll redo the turbo kit, and I'll put a full exhaust on the car also, because I know a lot of people were talking about that. But you know, it's just like, it would be dumb to throw away all the legwork that I've already done on this swap for this car to put a different engine in it. It's just, I'm just salty at myself. At the end of the day, I'm just salty with myself. So it sucks. Definitely sucks, but if you want to make a lot of power, just spend the extra money up front. Spend the extra money up front. I am gonna go have some fun this weekend. I'm gonna go take the Porsche out to the track, and I'm gonna go do some racing. Yes, it's drag racing again, because those are the only tracks that I can get in right now, but it'll still be fun to get out. I'm going to hang out with Josh, Remy, all the boys over at the track, so it should be a fun time. So with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, you know what to do. Go and hit that like button. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you want to follow for more, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.